In this section, we're going to look at some security measures, right? So let's say you have a manager, but when somebody clicks the manager, there's going to be a lot of utility. There might be some options there that you don't want everybody to have, right? So what you want is a login, right? So a manager will have to log in. So when they click on the manager page, you would redirect them, and I'll show how that's done in a moment. But you would redirect them to the manager login PHP, right? So that's where you are now. And what do they have to do here? They have to log in. So the way right now this works is you would put something in here, and click and check to see if the password is correct. Right now I'm printing the password out over here. So so right now I'm not really checking anything. I'm just printing, showing you that when you're using forms, this is a form that you can extract information from that form. So how is that done? So here is the manager login page. You have the form. I think it's down here, right? Oops. Manager right here. So you have the form, and here are the input fields and the placeholder and the button that you click, right? And then the way this is set up is that when you click the form, I want to reload the page. So this is indicating to the server. This goes back to the server, right, to the website, and the server looks at this and says, "Oh, okay. What do you want to do?" Well, you want to reload the page. Okay. So we come back over here and we need to do something. So first we check to see if the button was clicked. So this is called a post. If the button clicks, it comes back as a post, and you can then extract the information. So this is, as you can see, I'm getting the information from the post, and that's an array. Now in that post, you can have many different fields. You can, if you look at a lot of login or register sites, you got a lot of fields. But in this case, we only have one field. So I'm just right now checking, displaying the password. But what we really want to do is we want to check the password, right? So if the password is correct, then we'll let you go to the manager page. So I set up what's called like a global password PHP file in case I want to change it later. Let's say I'm using this password in a couple of places, right? So I have a global config, and let's say this is the password that I'm going to check. So we're going to use this global config password to check whether the password was correct. So the first thing we want to do, we're going to go step by step here because it could be a little complicated. The first thing we want to do is, or take a look at the option. Well, somebody clicks the button, but they don't put anything in. What do we want to do, right? Well, you can make your own decision, right? But in this case, I'm going to give them a message, right? So if you click the button, you're going to get passed through here. If you first time come to the page, you will not get passed here because you did not click the button. Okay. And the message here will be blank, right? Because I'm going to give you some messages here. So there's no message when you come to the page first time. When you click the button and you didn't enter anything, I'm going to give you a message. So down here, I added a little bit of code to the form, and the form says that right here is that if the message is not blank, it's not empty, I'm going to display it like a label. So that means if you don't have a message, this won't pop up, right? So let's test that out. So right now, I'm going to click the button, not put anything in, and you see up here, I'm printing the password, there's no password, and you have a nice little feedback. Okay, so that's the first part. The second part is, well, you put something in, but it's wrong, right? So let's take care of that. Okay, so what we want to do is we want to go after You check to see if it's not empty. So it's not empty. We're going to add an else, and we're going to get the password, right? This trim business gets rid of all spaces at the end, right? Just in case they put some spaces, you've seen that, right? I'm going to take care of it, get rid of this. So I'm going to check the password against the global one that I set over here, right? If you notice over here, I included the global's file. So that means I have this variable available, right? So I check the password, and if it doesn't match, I'm going to give you another message, right? I'm going to say, please enter a valid password. Okay, so let's check that out. By the way, you notice if I refresh the page, nothing. There's no messages, right? Remember, if there's no message, or if the message is empty, you don't have the label here. Okay, so first I check an empty one, right? It says, please enter something, right? Okay. Then I say, let me enter something. Well, it's not the right password, so please enter a valid password, right? Of course, if you go back and you don't enter, so you can go between these two. Okay, so now we have the empty one, we have the wrong one. Now let's handle the right one. Okay, so right now I'm just going to, if this all passes through, I have a good password, I'm just going to print a message just to see how it's working, right? So I uploaded this and I'm going to check it out. I also changed the password, make it a little simple, RT2000, RT2020, and you see that's the password, and it says it's good password. Okay, so we're gone through all the three different possibilities, but this is really, just printing a good password. That's not really what we want to do. What we want to do is we want to go to the manager page, right? So everything worked out. So I'm going to comment this out, and I'm going to say, so what this does is this is a redirect. So it redirects you to a different page. Okay, I'm going to upload this. I'm going to refresh again, and I'm going to put in the password, right? T2020, and didn't do it. Let me. Okay, the reason it didn't do it, you got to be careful here. You cannot print anything on the page before you redirect, right? So if you redirect and the page is already being displayed, it won't redirect. So I have to get rid of this echo. This is, I don't know if you've ever seen it, but this is that famous header already sent bit. Anyway, so get rid of all your echoes and all that, right? So let's try again. So I come over here and I'm going to type in. I'm going to see refresh. Actually, I'm going to go I'm going to reload this in a new fresh window or tab. And okay, so here we go. I'm going to say RT2020 and click. And of course, my Chrome is going to ask me to save that, but you see we went to the manager page. So this is pretty good, but there's a problem. The problem is I can still get to the manager page without the login, right? So how do I mean, if I redirect people from the manager page to the login, how do I prevent them from being sent back to the login after they logged in, right? So I'll show you what I mean. So remember what I said? I said on the manager page, we want to redirect you to the login. Okay, so here's the redirect. So when you come to the manager page, you're going to be sent to the manager login. All right. So let's give that a try. I'm going to go to members. I'm going to go to manager. And you see I'm in the manager login. All right, so that works fine. Now I log in, 2020, and I say, well, that should take me to the manager page. Well, actually, it did, but the manager page took you right back here. So there's got to be a way for me to check that I logged in, right? Hey, you logged in, don't redirect me. Okay, so let's see how we're going to do this. The first thing we're going to do is we need to tell the server that this is going to work with the server. The server is going to help us out here. Is when you log in, you're going to start what we call a session. So it's down here. So you logged in successfully, and what we do is we start a session. And a session is just a place on the server where you can store some information. So what I'm doing is I'm saying, look, on the server, store this variable and set it equal to the valid user, whatever that was, right? Okay, so now this is stored on the server. Okay, if you want to take a look, sessions are pretty interesting. Oh, wrong place. Right? So it works like this. It's like when you log in and you set that session, this information that I just put in, the auto user, it's saved on the server. So now I can, and it's a way to kind of identify yourself, right? With a session, that gives you a session number and all that, right? And now, if you go to a different page, you can check that session, you can check that number, or the variable you set, I should say. And if it's not set, so this is all server side, right? Anyway, let's give it a try. Well, actually, I have to show you, right? All right, so I set the session, and now I go to the manager page and I check. So I don't redirect you right away, right? If the session has been started, right, and that variable has been set, then that means you logged in. So, oh, sorry, if in this case, if you didn't do that, I'm going to redirect you. But if you did do that, this will be false, and you'll end up on the page, right? So if I'm going to give this a try now, right? And I go over here, and notice that if I try to go to the manager page, it redirects me like it should. Okay, so manager, and it's saying, well, manager. So you directed me because the session hasn't been set. You didn't log in. Okay, I'm going to log in. And now I'm going to set the session. It goes to the manager page. It checks that session to see if you set it. Well, you did. So it stays on the page. Now, there should be a way for you to log in also. I mean, sorry, log out, which I didn't do, And you've seen websites, or when you close a browser, it tells you, hey, or you don't close the browser, it tells you that other people will. If you've got to be careful here. If this is a secure site and you set the session and you didn't unset it somehow, people can get into your bank account, right? So you should have a logout. I don't have one here. But anyway, that's how security works. So what I'd like you to do is let's set up a security for a similarly for, let's say, members, right?